Hey, everybody. I'm so delighted to have on the lifestyle.org podcast today the amazing Sandi Patty, her husband, Don Peslis. You guys are just the most loving, beautiful couple. I was so excited to have you on, at that time, Lifestyle Magazine, season before. I don't know if you've heard, we've changed the name again.
Okay.
Really?
That's good.
Now it's just Lifestyle.
Lifestyle. Okay.
That's good.
It started out, it's like the longest running show other than Meet the Press.
Right.
So it's Christian Lifestyle.
It's like MASH.
It's almost like MASH.
This is Lifestyle 3.0.
In fact, I think we might have had several of the MASH characters on. But it was Christian Lifestyle Magazine. It was Lifestyle Magazine. Now it's Lifestyle with Roy Ice, just so you know who it is.
I like it.
Then it'll probably be Lifestyle with Penelope Pumpernickel or whoever replaces me. And then it'll just be Life after that.
In life.
Yeah, it
and
just
then
keeps getting.
Just
and then, yeah.
Exactly.
And hopefully we'll still have some style.
Yeah.
But man, it's so great to catch up with you. You're about to do a concert. I can't believe how sweet you are to sit down with me and have a conversation. Because in less than 2 hours, you're on.
We are.
You're singing.
We are.
It is great to be here, truly. We love Lifestyle. We always have. And you've taken the baton and you've just championed it. So we just are really excited.
Well, thank you. I'm standing on the shoulder of giants.
Yes,
and
you are. That is true.
They really have laid such an amazing foundation just to reach out to people and say, we really care.
Yeah.
We want you to know someone loves you, that you can live the most amazing life,
Yes.
and people can help you do it. Talking about life, what are you guys into right now? What's exciting you?
What is exciting us? Well, grandkids for one.
That's a good one. We've got 11.
We've got 11.
Is that all?
11, that's it. Just 11.
Christmas is coming.
Well, there's enough Tic Tacs over there. Each one are going to get one.
Yes.
I think that's
so. With all the craft services, just take everything from craft services. You got a big purse?
I actually do.
Perfect. Yeah,
has
just
a
Purse,
Nani,
backpack. Yeah, the Nani purse.
The Nani and Poppy.
But we are loving that. We live in Indiana now. And we moved there to be close to my parents, which we'll talk about here in a minute. But we have 3 grandkids there, 2 daughters there. Yeah. So it's been nice to be back into their daily
We
days.
just got a text today. I should pull my phone up. Literally, Thatcher, our oldest, who's 10, hit a triple on his baseball. They were down 17-13, and we're up 17-13 and won 17-15. But he had a triple, and Colin is...
Did not know that.
Yeah, I've got it. Colin, usually she's telling
and
me.
he sent you a
Colin
video.
is recording, and it's like, go, go. You don't hear anything
and he
except
can
seeing
really
him
run
go.
too, man.
You know, and so Dad is yelling, and it was just the coolest
He's better
thing.
than me, because when my kids are doing that, I'm just shouting, and then you see like the grass.
The ground.
Yeah.
He did it. He's
Shaky.
told
Oh, he held
that.
it. He held it.
Oh, that's
so we're
so
loving.
exciting.
And you know, Roy, it's so funny because you hear grandparents and you go, "Oh my," right? But when you get your first one, you just literally lose your mind.
Lose your mind.
We
You know, so
wife
after
and
11,
I-
there's not much left. I mean, that's
What's funny is a lot of our friends are like, who have grandkids, are like, I don't want to be called grandma yet. I don't want to be called grandpa. My wife and I were like, we're ready.
Yeah.
If it's girls, my wife is ready.
Oh.
Because our house is boys. We had teenage
Right.
boys.
Yeah,
She's ready
yeah.
for little kids that don't stink.
That's
Well-
You know.
or that you can send home.
Yes.
And the parents
Yes.
can bathe them.
that is
See.
true.
See, our kids are teenagers now. We forget about all this stuff we used to have to do.
Yeah.
You know,
No, it's okay.
I think our boys bathe.
But you
Roy,
know, it's not high on the priority
you
list.
will get through this. If you can see us, let us be your, because when we got married, it was 11-777-653, but wait, there's more. We adopted Sam in that mix 6 months in.
Yeah.
Now it's 39. It's odd year.
Yeah.
39, 35, 35, 35, 34, 33, 31,
You remember that really
27.
well.
Because she gets mad at me. In November, it
Well,
flips.
he bumps everyone up when
In
it's
November.
really not their birthday.
But no, look, in November, everybody gets a birthday.
Everybody gets a birthday.
Ready or not? Because who's going to do this? 39, 35, 35, 34 and a half. No.
See.
No time for
Are
that.
they all near November, their birthdays? Or you
No,
just
that's
say
just the
November
first
is
two.
day?
That's
November is when this arbitrary thing
The twins
was
go,
made
it's
in
the
his
cycle.
mind.
They start it. They start the cycle. There's November, then there's January,
It's kind
then
of like
there's
our
May.
own family fiscal year. Starts in November.
Are you sensing?
I would do it.
Are you sensing that Miss Patty has not bought into the?
No, I actually think it's a great idea.
I mean, did you hear me? I got all the birthdays I went through.
You did?
I'm like,
I know.
I didn't miss
have
a
to think. I can't do it.
I
Thank
think it was me. And Don, you're amazing for many ways. But I think
Thank
I would
you for
pick
that. I
June
needed
or-
help.
I know. I would pick
But
June or
November.
July.
Right.
June or July, because it's like,
Right.
I need time to recover. 11 grandkids, not
Right.
counting the kids. Christmas killed me.
Yeah.
You know,
It is
November. So if their birthdays are November, basically Christmas is birthday insurance. Like whatever they didn't get
Yeah.
from you in November, that's what
the
they ask
twins,
for at
and
Christmas.
that's the twins. They've done well.
Who are 39. They
That's
deserve it.
Well, no, that's honest. 39.
Oh, how old are the twins?
35, 35.
Okay.
Donnie, 35. Allie, odd one out, 34. 33, 31, 27.
And
We'll
tell
be
you-
right back.
I tell you what I'm going to do.
I may not be back.
Just to make it clear, I'm going to have post-production. Put those numbers on the screen
There
for you.
you go.
You're welcome.
There
You know,
you
you're
go.
gonna
Really
hate me.
try playing
There
this
you go.
on the Powerball, please.
Okay, we may or may not have done that.
And are still trying. No, good. Okay.
Well, you need it to pay for all the gifts. So I tell you what I think our plan is, because people ask me, where are you going to retire?
Mm-hmm.
And I say, I don't know. It depends on where my kids are.
That's exactly
because
right.
I got to be near the grandkids.
It's
but
right.
we got 2 kids. You have multiple kids.
Okay, we have your answer.
What is
Yes.
it?
An RV.
Yes.
Oh,
An
Yes.
RV.
Yes. Do you have
You'll
one
be
yet?
Home wherever you are.
See,
that's
there's
like
a jingle.
commercial.
I know it.
It's a commercial.
So
And- yeah.
that is our dream, honestly.
That's perfect.
Get an RV.
Yeah.
And then we control our own destiny.
Or we control. Poppy, it's 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah, no, 8 o'clock.
No, that was
That's
8
it, 8
o'clock. Poppy has not had his coffee yet.
Yes, and you're forgetting, Poppy just came from Pacific time zone.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
But see, if you have an RV and you got to measure it so it'll get in their driveway.
So you measured their driveway and say, okay, this is as
This
big
is
of
the
an RV
size
as we can get.
this is
'cause
what we
we're
can do.
coming
And
in.
then you buy them a 220 plug for Christmas.
And they know we're serious then.
And they know
Here's your gift. Here's your gift. It's an adapter plug for my RV.
This
Right,
means coming to a
exactly.
driveway near you.
Exactly.
The cool thing is, I think we're going to have the same plan.
Yeah.
Because chances are
good.
our boys are going to live different,
They will.
different cities.
Yeah.
They're mobile
possibly different
global.
states.
Yeah.
So we'll pull into the driveway of
Yeah.
the kid that annoys us the least at that moment.
Yeah.
Yes.
And,
At that moment.
and sugar up those grandkids,
Thank
spoil
you.
them until we can't stand them.
That's right.
And then, well, it's time to go to the other driveway.
Here's
That's
what we
exactly
say,
right.
Roy. When they leave, when they come to, and they did this last trip.
They did.
Last
It was-
weekend, we
it was
took a trip.
awesome.
And as I put them in the car, we've always said
To
we
go with
want
their
them
parent-
to
go
go
home with
back
their
home.
parents.
We want them falling on the floor saying,
Yes.
we don't want to go.
Yeah.
And they did. So
And they-
that's where you just look at each other and go, boom.
Yeah, boom.
Mission
Let's go take a nap.
accomplished.
Done. Did it.
They love us, and now we can rest.
Yeah.
You know,
We
recover.
did. So that's our, and you can try it out. You can rent from different places.
Well, tell 'em-
Try out. Well,
wanna
this
say
is
'em?
not now.
Okay. We won't say
but,
RV
but
share.
Think
Don't
about
say it.
that too.
Yes.
And you can
but
rent them.
if RV Share would like to sponsor
Yes.
Sandy and Dawn.
Yes. We would be very open.
And that
You
way,
wouldn't
Roy,
say no.
No,
We would not say
And
no.
you can try out. We've tried out the smaller ones. Like the little, what are sprinters? But that's kind of like, excuse me, pardon me. It's a little too small.
Yes.
But we've also gotten the ones that the kids saw us coming and they're going, that cannot, no
that
way.
will not.
Yeah.
No.
It's like
30
my neighbors are already complaining.
Exactly,
Yeah.
30
Exactly.
feet. A 30-foot is about the right. And then they've got these really cool things where the whole side slides out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
And,
your
then you
living
have
room-
room to cook
Yeah.
and actually
Well, in West
walk
Virginia, we
That's
call
how
that.
I camp.
Yeah, we call it a double
I do
wide.
not camp.
West Virginia, double wide.
There it is. There it is.
There it is.
That's the plan. Well, I think that's it. I think RV is the way to go. And then you can rent out your house and.
Could we, Roy?
Well,
it's
you
got-
have to have gas money.
Well, fair enough.
There is.
It's at $27 a gallon now.
You know,
in
it is,
California.
especially when you run the generator then, and then, you know. all
But
that,
Rory, we've
so.
downsized. We've downsized our house. It's a fun time of life, really. And I just encourage you and your sweet missus that you're in it now. You're raising the boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're praying. The days, believe it or not, they're going to fly by. Those guys are going to be heading off to college, and you're going to go, where did the time go? So I tell you, slow down.
Yes.
Listen to old man over here, old man River.
Thank you. You're
Slow
depressing me
down
already.
and enjoy it.
Yeah.
But it is also when you get to this time again, it's like we're dating all over again. It's fantastic. You go, oh, there you were. I knew I liked you.
Yeah.
We survived, the 20 years.
28, please.
Well, but I'm saying at least 20 with the kids. No,
Yeah.
mostly.
Yeah.
Trust
with
me,
the kids.
he knows numbers.
He does know
He knows
numbers.
years.
He does. Don't mess.
Should have been an accountant, but anyway. But it's a great time. So we're literally
We are enjoying
loving the sunset
this season. We
Yeah.
really are.
That is
And
cool.
We are.
we'd been in Oklahoma City for a very long time.
Yeah.
And just really felt that it was time to move back to Indiana because we had
Yeah.
raised our kids in Indiana. My parents are in Indiana. And so in February of this year, 23, we moved back to Indiana, knowing it was really the sunset
Yeah.
of my parents. We celebrated their 90th birthdays, one day apart, July 1st and July 2nd.
Yeah.
We celebrated their 90th birthdays and also 70 years of marriage.
70th anniversary.
70th anniversary.
We called it the 70-90.
Yeah,
the 70-90.
and everybody was there. All the kids, the grandkids, the great-grandkids, the siblings, the nieces, and it was amazing.
That is so cool. And it was in the same town that you live in now?
Yes,
or-
same town that
Everybody
we live
came
in now.
We did a celebration. Each family group had a little song or a poem. I mean, it was really like, because, Mom and Dad, everything Sandi learned and we've learned comes really from two camps,
Yeah.
Mom and Dad camp or Bill and Gloria Gaither
Yeah.
camp.
Yeah.
So it was really a show, if you will, but it was more than that. It was almost, dare I say this, almost like having a wake to hear all these things before.
Yeah.
Because she'll tell you, Mom,
Yeah.
Mom just recently passed.
Yeah.
So we
3
we
weeks
knew,
after that party.
That's right.
3 weeks.
so we knew, but really more importantly, the good Lord knew that it was time. When you go, I think I'm supposed to sell my house. I think we're supposed
Yeah.
to move. I think we're supposed to go back. And then you see
Downsize
it
and
was right.
to be available.
Yeah,
And
and we didn't
that's
miss it.
what
We didn't miss it. And it was really, it's the way, I don't know why we do this in society, that we wait till someone's gone to say all those things.
Yeah.
And we brought a professional photographer in, and he caught some of the best moments, not just
I'll have to
pictures.
make sure you have
Yeah,
the
you got to see
photo.
this photo of Mom where she's at the piano and she's sassy. He captured her.
Spicy, man. She
Sassy.
was spicy.
I mean, yeah, whatever. But all of that. And he just grabbed it, and then Dad's back behind her leading singing in one picture.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was just you could not, if you sat down and said, I'm gonna write this,
Right.
I'm gonna write it out.
There's no way.
Couldn't
There's
have
no way
scripted
you
it.
could say, okay, here's how I'd like to leave this earth. I'd like to have a big party with everybody. And
Yeah.
then,
Say all the things.
but my mother, we put her on hospice
Yeah.
early in this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I want Don to talk a little bit more about the practicality of hospice. But from a personal standpoint, people often invoke hospice too late.
Yeah.
And when you receive a life-ending diagnosis, you can invite hospice to be with you on that journey. And so I got to see firsthand my mother just decide, okay, this is where this is headed. So I am going to enjoy every moment, every meal, every conversation, every time she sat at the piano and carried her oxygen with her.
Yeah.
She enjoyed,
Yeah.
and consequently, we enjoyed
Yes.
her and had conversations about life. And I was able to say to her all the things a daughter should say and say to her, bless her heart. And she will not correct me. Well, she might, but even up until the end, her last few days, she was like, oh, I just wish I could lose some more pounds. I was like, Mom,
You're gonna fit in the casket.
You are
You're
90,
Yes.
okay? And
Right.
you've lived a great life. Can
That's
we
it.
just be done with
Yeah.
that?
Can we just be happy?
Can we just be done with that?
Yeah.
And it was just so wonderful to see her enjoy, lean in, be present. This nobody was pretending this wasn't where this journey was headed. But for her to really live her best days. I've never seen anything like it, and you can speak to that a little bit
So,
better.
it's one thing to have a testimony, but I'll let you pause a minute, Roy, to think about that, because we were able to see it not from a clinical, yes, it was clinical, not from a therapeutic, yes, it was therapeutic, but as a daughter and a son, to see it work firsthand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what a testimonial really is.
Yeah.
And so we're able to see it. We have a saying around the shop where I work, hospice, and again, you're given a 6-month diagnosis. So that's at a point you're not really able to add a lot of days to your life, but hospice helps us add life to your days.
Yes. Yeah.
And we've seen it. We've seen it.
Yes.
Most people
Yeah.
don't know what hospice does.
Well, no,
Yes.
they think
of
it's a last minute, last ditch effort.
Most just see it as a diagnosis.
Right.
A
You know what,
terminal
that's true.
diagnosis,
That's right.
and oh no, they're on hospice.
Nothing left
Right.
to do.
And all they can say is, well, they're on hospice.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so they're
Yeah.
moving in a hospital bed, and this is it. It's
Yeah.
gonna- without understanding
Yeah.
what hospice provides.
Yeah.
Right.
And the beautiful transition
Yeah.
that they provide for people who are terminal.
Yes.
Yes.
But it doesn't mean they're without hope.
That's
and
right.
it doesn't mean they're without happiness and the joy of family. I'm going to ask you first, Sandi, and then Don. I want to dig deeper into this hospice thing because you really have a lot of specialty in this area, and I want to dig into that. But Sandi, I want to go back just a little bit. Losing your mom, even though it was a positive experience by being able to talk with her, say what you want to say, stuff like that. How did that affect you? Like that experience. You're a person of faith. You believe this is not all there is.
Yeah.
But what was your experience like going through that with your mom here recently?
I'll answer it on 2 levels, both from her daughter. One was her fear was that she would be in pain and have a lot of anxiety. And so I was grateful that hospice was able to answer both of those questions for us and for her. And while it was a holy privilege, truly, to watch her step from this life to the next, I still lost my mom.
Yeah.
And there's just no way around that.
Yeah.
And I find that I get ambushed by grief.
Grief will do that.
And I get ambushed by memories. We went to a restaurant not soon after she had passed with my dad. And I walked into that restaurant and I was straight up ambushed by grief because I looked over at my dad and said to myself, who's he going to split fajitas with? Something will happen and I'll want to call her. And then I remember. And so for that side of me, being the daughter,
Yeah.
I miss her terribly.
Yeah.
And I miss her being with my dad. Does that make sense? Yeah. I miss knowing that at the end of the day, they can talk about what they did. And so I'm equally as sad for my dad because 70 years, that's a really long time.
Yeah.
So it is something I am choosing to not pretend about.
Yeah.
And I am choosing to be present for.
Yeah.
And I really don't like it.
Yeah.
I really, really don't. And I'll find myself shaking and my knees shaking and the tears are always just right there. But there's no way through something except through it.
Yeah.
And so I'm choosing to just do the next right thing. And that's all I know to do.
As a person of faith, myself, we all have to deal with loss. And I think the thing that helps me the most with people I've lost, and perhaps it might help you as well, is a picture that I imagine in my mind. And that picture, of course, is on the most perfect grass on a hillside, trees there. We're in heaven. There's a picnic table there with streamers and a very large birthday cake. And the loved one that I've lost is celebrating their 300 trillionth birthday. And I just think that's the coolest thing. I mean, 300 trillionth birthday, that's something to celebrate. We finally hit the 3 trillion mark. And in that moment of celebrating eternity and really realizing that 300 trillion is just the beginning of their life, their real life. That's their real life. That's not afterlife. This here is the before life.
That's right. That's exactly
life.
right.
That's
That
right.
is life.
That is life.
Absolutely.
And life eternal. And just to be celebrating with my loved one a 300 trillionth birthday and realizing that they're just a young pup. And then we try to recall that space of time that we were separated when they had passed and I remained. And we try to recall how much time, but compared to 300 trillion,
Right.
it just, was that even a blink of an eye?
Right.
And,
Absolutely.
And that brings me a lot of comfort, just knowing that the divine does have eternity waiting for us.
Absolutely.
He does.
Yeah.
And I think Paul sums it up perfectly when he says we grieve with hope.
Yes.
And my friends would text me, right after she passed, how you doing? I said, well, I'm grieving with hope, but mostly grieving right now.
Yeah. But I think that's the healthiest thing you can do.
Yeah.
I think the people that try to, my wife and I were talking about this earlier. We're in a society where even doctors are frustrated because we're medicating the symptoms.
Right.
And we're trying to cover and camouflage the symptoms because we're not dealing with the real issue. I think in grief, the more you try to cover up and try to do things to keep yourself from going to the depths of grief, it just prolongs the grief.
It does.
It doesn't deal with the grief. So I think what you're doing is actually the
You
healthiest
deal
thing.
with the grief, or the grief is going to deal with you.
That's what we say.
Yeah, I think it's the healthiest thing.
No way around, no way over,
Yeah.
no way under, but it's a daily process, which she said, for those that may be out there that are grieving, it is through. And what she said is so critical, to be fully present.
Yeah.
That's why in Ecclesiastes it says there's a time to be born, there's a time to die. It's all beautiful. The great teacher says, in the end, is there anything that man can have for all of his work? And then he answers the question, and he says that everything is beautiful in its time.
In its time.
Yeah.
And we, with Christ, with our faith,
Yeah.
as she said, we can grieve with hope, because we know that even in a short parting, as you said,
Yeah.
it's all beautiful in His time, And
I'm glad that you and our coworker, our founder, Sean,
Yes.
are going to come and be on the show.
Yes,
Because
I can't wait, Don, for you and Sean to
Yes.
come be on
Yeah.
Yes.
Lifestyle, because what you're doing, I want you to talk about that now, because what you are doing is helping people with probably one of the times of life that people are the most uncomfortable with.
Well, Roy, COVID changed everything, and the trend now for home health, really, we're anewcare.com. We're the fastest growing home health, palliative, and hospice care in the state of Indiana.
Wow.
And with Sean at the helm, who knows, it could be reaching Cali someday. But what we believe is we do it the right way, that everyone deserves dignity and care, that they can be at those eternal moments wherever they call home, surrounded by whoever they love and they call their family.
Yeah.
So we're committed to that. And again, hospice, we like to say it's not the last choice, it should be the best choice
Yeah.
for our folks.
Yeah.
And as Sandy said earlier, COVID really, a lot of folks now are convalescing, if you will, or one of the terms is aging in place. It's at
Aging in
home.
place, yeah.
It's at
Right.
home now.
Aging in
Hospitals.
place.
The Loma Linda Hospital here is probably reaching out and finding ways that they're doing teledoc. They're reaching into the home. And that's really where we are. We can bring the best of our nurses, the best of therapy, the best of occupational, our best of our care team that was with Mom. We're just above and beyond. More than care, but our family became our family. So that's really what we do. We come around the family. We support them with a team, complete support that's not just, but it's spiritual, physical, and mental through this process, that everyone can go through this with care and dignity.
I love this, and it's not just for the individual who
That's exactly
is on
right.
hospice. It's for the whole
The
family,
whole family.
the loved ones.
It's complete.
Absolutely.
And we have a team that's you want to speak to that? Go
Well,
ahead.
I just was going
love
to say,
it.
I remember one day when the nurses and the aide and the nurse practitioner and the nurse were there.
Mm-hmm.
And they could see, just based on their assessment, that my mom was declining. And I remember one of the aides pulling me aside and said, I know how your mom is. How are you? And she said, and how is your dad? And that just, because we're all in this together and we do become a team to just help the person have the best home going possible.
We call that the anew advantage.
Yes.
That's the difference.
Yes.
That's the difference. That no one should ever transition and make this pass alone.
No. They don't
So, but we're re-educating, Roy. So we really appreciate.
Yeah.
You're going to love Sean. We appreciate, and again, what better testimony than to be able to go through it ourselves
Yeah.
and to see it work, to see it add life to her days.
Yes.
Hospice works with the body.
Yeah.
It works with the natural processes
Yes. Yeah.
rather than against. So, we're believers. We're believers because we've seen it work.
Yeah.
And but
And
it
it's
takes
been meaningful.
but it takes re-educating
been
because you're right. Early on, people think hospice. They go, well, that's it.
Yeah.
And what happens many times, people will graduate off hospice. They'll do so well.
Really?
We also
Yeah.
say this: when you
That
stop
happens.
trying to live longer, you actually start living longer
Really?
and better. So our whole thing is what we want to do is we're trying to enhance people's stories, one story, one life at a time, and helping them to live well. Just what you're doing here.
Exactly.
Well, I can't wait, Dawn, to spend a whole episode of
Yeah.
Lifestyle with you,
Great.
unpacking that, because so many people don't know this.
Exactly.
That's right, and we have to.
They're hoping they don't get a hospice diagnosis, and yet
Right.
they don't realize what a blessing. And because
Yes.
you've gone through it, you were passionate. I can feel the passion here.
Absolutely.
Seen it
You
work.
know what a difference it made in your life. And so
Yeah.
I can't wait to meet with
Can't
you in the
wait.
studio.
And let me,
wait.
I know we're a little bit over time, but let me just add one other thing.
Please.
Hospice allowed me to be in the role of daughter.
There we go.
And hospice came in and did the care. And so often when our parents get to this point, we're the caregiver, we're the medicine giver.
They're exhausted.
We're exhausted.
You're the maid.
And
you're the-
All of it.
yes, and when we brought hospice in, I was able to be the daughter. And that was probably the best gift for me.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Don't forget also that hospice, there's also home health.
Yes.
When you've got a COPD, a CHF, a diabetes, you've got a real diagnosis. We're able to come in now with home health
Yeah.
and palliative, which can help you live well long before
Yes.
we even have to say hospice.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, it's we're really changing, I think, the face of healthcare and bringing it to the home, bringing it to where folks live.
Yeah.
And we thank you again for having us on.
The thanks is all yours. And I hope all of you who are watching this podcast will definitely come back and watch the Lifestyle TV show when Dawn and Sean are on there, because it really is going to help you find a lot of solutions
Yeah.
and a lot of things that will help you through
Maybe
your
answer
life.
some questions. Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yes, I'm sure it will answer a lot of questions. So as we go out, I have a big question that maybe we can go out on. I used to sing. In fact, I recorded in Gaither Studios
you did.
right there, but I had to walk through the gauntlet of gold records in the hallway of Sandi Patty. I don't know if you've heard of her. So I used to warm up my voice.
Yeah.
But many of the viewers here probably are wondering, what is Sandi Patty's regime for how she warms up? And so maybe we can go out, because Don, you sing, you sing. I try to sing, and maybe we can just go out warming up.
Okay, well,
Do you do me, 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 me? I can't do
Yep,
me, me, me.
I start with-
I feel too
Lip
self-absorbed
trills.
when I
This
say
is-
me, me,
yeah,
me.
me.
And you can't say us, us, us.
No, you
No.
can't. It has to be the E vowel. So you could say T,
We.
T, 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 we.
No, you can't say that unless you're a urologist.
Ma.
Yes.
Yeah, but she's right. She'll start off. It is a routine.
So let's lip trill on our
Okay,
way
here we
out,
go.
Okay.
Here we go. I don't know if I can do it.
And the sillier you feel, the better it's working.
The sillier I
So-
feel,
and
the
we
more
work the
left.
diaphragm.
It's trying to go. All right. I don't know if you're warm. I'm warm.
Thank you for tuning in to Lifestyle.
More warming up next time.
I love you guys.
Thanks, Roy. Yay! Now this is how you do a podcast.